Do you have to enter a state of calm relaxation to be hypnotized? Probably in some. If you're listening to something that's pre-recorded and scripted and generic, they probably get you to go into that calm relaxation by getting you to visualize stairs or going downstairs or walking in a forest or a beach. But when you're really doing hypnotherapy, you don't need to get into a calm, relaxed state, especially if you're feeling anxious, shame, guilt, fear. Whatever you're actually feeling is a good place to start. It's really the only place to start. I mean, with these pre-recorded videos, if you're coming to them because you are feeling fear or anxiety and they tell you to relax, that's called distraction. That might not be the best way to handle your fear or anxiety or whatever it is you're feeling. You're probably searching for hypnosis because you're feeling a certain way that you don't want to be in, or you're experience something that you don't want to be in. And when you take emotions like fear or anxiety, I'm going to guess that maybe the reason that you're feeling so much fear and anxiety is because you might have pushed it away, pushed it down, suppressed it. When it's really bad, your subconscious mind will do that all on its own, and that's called repression. Or in some cases of intense fear or a phobia, your subconscious mind might even make you faint. Like some of my clients, when they need to escape that feeling in a pattern of distraction and escape. And a lot of times what these clients will come up with in a deep resourceful state, not necessarily a calm, relaxed state, but a deep resourceful state, their subconscious mind will tell them, be in this moment. Just hang out in that moment. Be in the present moment. And this might be very different from the therapy that they've been getting or what friends and family tell them when they have an intense phobia or fear or maybe even anxiety. It's how to distract yourself. Like say in the case of needles, if you have a needle phobia, you might have a whole team of friends trying to distract you so that you can get a needle or you can get blood taken. And there's this intense fear about that moment. So you try to run away from how you're feeling, repress it, distract yourself. So whatever emotion that you're feeling, that might be a part of why that problem is persisting, especially if there's an emotional aspect to it. If there's a situation that you're trying to resolve or a problem that you're trying to resolve, I think the first part of it is to just be with and acknowledge what is happening, because it's really difficult to change or transform anything that you can acknowledge, that you can't first of all be with and label. So being with whatever it is you're experiencing or feeling right now in this moment, and just notice if that fear or anxiety is coming from your past. Are you thinking about your past? Is there some type of shame or guilt or regret about your past? And it really has nothing to do with this present moment. Or when you look to the future, is there some type of anxiety or stress or worry about the future? And that also has nothing to do with this moment that you're in right now. Because maybe you're sitting down, you're relaxing. There's really nothing happening in your environment. It's just your thoughts. And ruminating on those thoughts or those feelings. And that negative rumination is a trance. It's self-hypnosis. That as you ruminate with that intense feeling, that is self-hypnosis. And that will cause all of those thoughts and their associated feelings to grow, expand, take up even more space in your subconscious. Just like an iceberg. It's this huge, intense, negative feeling, negative emotion below the surface. And all you have to do is get sucked in to that tip of the iceberg by thinking about your past or your future in a negative way. And then that takes you all the way down into that 90% of that iceberg that is below the surface. And you probably feel it. It's probably very intense. So in hypnosis, you can start at that tip of the iceberg. You can start with however it is you're feeling. So you can start with that moment. Just acknowledge what is so. And you want to let go of the thoughts. You want to let go of the past. You want to let go of the future. Noticing if those thoughts are coming from anywhere else except this present moment. Because most likely, what's happening in this present moment is nothing. So if you're on your own, that's something that you can create some mindfulness around. And if you come to hypnotherapy, we can start with those thoughts or those feelings. And when you're guided to connect with your subconscious mind in a deep, resourceful state, when you connect with your subconscious can actually resolve all of that. It knows how to neutralize those feelings. It knows how to expand your mind so that you can think differently about your past or your future. So I see clients with intense fears and phobias having an experience in hypnosis. And that experience that they have empowers them in that area, whatever area that they've come in for, by getting to what is really underneath all of that. What is really causing it? Because they usually come in with a symptom. But we have to go upstream to find out what's causing that. And your subconscious mind is really good at finding out what your root cause is, even though you might not even be aware of what that is. It might have been just too much for you. You might have repressed it. But your subconscious mind knows what's really going on below the surface. So these clients have this experience. And then when they tell me about it, it sounds like a visualization. But that's only because they don't have the words to describe what actually happened, what they actually experienced. So it'll sound like a metaphor or a visualization, only I'm not telling them what to do. Their subconscious mind is telling them, because their subconscious mind has the answers. And this experience will change the neural pathways in their brain. It will create a literal pathway of neurons connected in new ways in their brain. And this is called neuroplasticity, your ability for your brain to change and adapt and learn new things. And when that neuroplasticity happens in your brain, in the physical brain, what happens to your mind is that it expands. And so as your mind expands, as you become more open-minded, as your mind opens through that experience, your mind expands. And as your mind expands, that problem gets smaller and smaller. So what is that emotion for you that maybe wakes you up at the beginning of the day? What is that emotion or that feeling or those thoughts that you are constantly trying to escape? And what would your life be like if you could expand your mind, open up your mind so that that problem or that feeling becomes like a tiny drop in the ocean, and that you would acknowledge that drop, but it wouldn't run you. So think about that now, where that emotion or that situation could be just like a tiny drop in the ocean, where you could just notice that drop, that ripple, and then it would just fade.